Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit more about our trip down to Dallas. And I'm also going to reveal some new information that, I really don't want to present too much of this, but I'm going to go ahead and present it because, I get a lot of questions from people. And it's understandable they're going to ask me a lot more questions because the evidence I found and the other people that's done research on it, they don't really get no questions whatsoever because they don't even bother answering any questions. But I try to get around to answering as much questions as I can. Now, what I'm going to reveal in this video here is evidence to prove a lot of things that was done in the past is wrong. Okay. Just like, when you're there and you take a look at certain things and you mark certain things down, and you start, going over everything, you're going like, how can this pass this test or how can this pass this test when what they're basing it on is false information. So what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about one thing at a time, and I want to show a couple images here. As you see right here, this image here, okay, we can see this is the pedestal that Mr. Zapruder and Mrs. Setzman was standing on. As you see, it's really not that wide whatsoever. And here's the front of it. So when we look at this, okay, we're going to think that they actually had a lot of clear room, but here's the width of it. If you look at it right here, which we'll zoom back just a little bit so you get the width of it. As you see, it's really not that wide, okay? And when I pull up this one here, which I'll move this one over here, and pull up the other one so you can see them from both views. We'll zoom in on this. As you see here, it's really not that wide or that big of the pedestal they were standing on. When we're looking at it in realistic, it's like 3 foot by 3 foot, as you see right here. It's like 3 foot by 3 foot, and you have two adult people climbing up on this, holding one in each other up, just like if Mr. Zapruder got up there first, he would have to help Mrs. Setzman up there, because remember, she's wearing a dress and everything else. So, this is where, when I look at something like this, and it's like when they talk about him having vertigo, there's no possible way he could have had vertigo. For him to stand on this kind of a short little pedestal, much like 3 foot by 3 foot, two people standing on there, him getting up on there first, or helping her up first, or, him getting up there first, and then she's trying to get up on there with a dress on. Somebody with vertigo, and they're looking down as they're helping somebody up, they would actually fall on their face. They would have fell right off of it. So when we're looking at something like that, and we look at this pedestal, and being this high, and somebody has vertigo, okay, it's really a small little confined spot for two people to stand on. But like I said, to me, when they make a claim about vertigo and everything else, as I pointed out in my other video, it would have been easier for them to be over here, or the corner of this wall here, which I'll zoom in over here. I'll shrink this up because I know I'm over on this one side. It would have been easier for him to film over here. Then he wouldn't have to worry about nobody holding him up. And as you see in the video I showed of somebody, my son was filming here for me, shows that he got to still the whole assassination, the whole view of Elm Street and everything else right here. Plus, he would have been closer out to the street instead of further back from the street. And he wouldn't have to worry about falling or anything else if he had vertigo, because like I said, this is a very small, and as you see, the wideness gets shorter because look at here. Okay, you got this section here is a certain dimension. Then it goes back into about an inch, inch and a half, which makes this top piece smaller than the main base itself. So the vertigo thing that they was claiming, that's the reason why they're standing there and Mrs. Setzman holding them up, the vertigo thing, I cannot believe in. Sorry to say, but by the evidence, by viewing this and going over this and saying, how small this is. I mean, I could take my arms right across there, through the whole thing. It's like right to here to me, from my fingertips to about here on my arm. That's how wide, wide it is. That's how much space they really have right there, And it's like for two people to get up there and trying to see how get up on there and then get right back off of stuff. And somebody with vertigo, that's just too small of a space for them trying to work around. Now, as I told people and everything else, and I show people that, when they talk about this manhole cover, gunman inside this manhole cover here, took the fatal headshot to JFK. I showed them, because here's the X that they placed in the road. Right here, here's the X they placed in the road. But, as I pointed out, that X right here actually is based on Robert Groden. He's the one that's been placing that X there and the one up the street here as well. He's the one that places them X's there. And when researchers base their research on this, they base it on this one X right here when they do the ballistic test and everything else, as you see right here, which I'll zoom in. Okay, they have the fatal headshot occurring right in this location here. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink. Okay, they're having the fatal headshot taking place right there. So when they do their ballistic testing and when they do this manhole cover testing or gunman behind the picket fence stuff, they're basing on this information here of the fatal headshot occurring here. However, I'm going to reveal that is not the right location of the fatal headshot. Now, again, people might disagree with me and everything else like that, but we took measurements and everything else, like I said, based on Zapruder film and other films. Okay, when we look at the fatal headshot to JFK, okay, here's the fatal headshot to JFK. Okay, and remember, he exactly happened just a little bit more onto Mr. Zapruder's right side than it is on his left. When he's standing, he's filming. So the fatal headshot occurred right before he got right in front of Mr. Zapruder and Mrs. Sussman. The shot occurred, and then they passed right in front of Mr. Zapruder and them. So the fatal headshot didn't occur in the location as they're claiming. As you see right here, okay, you see how the pedestal is right here, which I'll zoom like this. See how the pedestal's here? So Mr. Zapruder's filming out this way. See, he's filming out this way. Okay, for him, he'll have to stand way over here, which is on the edge, to film if he was filming this way, but he wasn't. He was standing right here in the center, as we can see in the films and images. He's standing here, and when he's filming, when he's got his camera aiming straight out in front of him, you see where my cursor's going? The X is over here now. It's on far to his right, if you're standing there. Here is where the X should be at. We did 2 testings on this. Okay, here is the X right here. We're standing directly on Mr. Zapruder's pedestal that he was standing on. And we did laser pointing testing. You see the X right here. Remember, when you're looking out this direction here, now this is the center right here. You watch my cursor, this is the center. Okay, here's where the laser pointer points to where the fatal headshot occurred, which I'm about to reveal right now. Right there. So see, the fatal headshot occurred right here. Right here is where the fatal headshot occurred. This is where laser pointer is pointing at right here. Not here. So all the testing, when you're standing right on the pedestal and you do your laser pointer and you're filming directly that's in front of you, like Mr. Zapruder was doing when he was standing. And I was standing right here, which I'll pull this up to as well, so you can see it from his view and laser point of view. We're standing here and we're aiming out this way with the camera. Okay, we're aiming out this way with the Zapruder camera. And you see this. When we're occurring this, if you place this, which what we'll do is we'll go ahead and open up the paints. And we'll take a copy of the image right in front of everybody so they can see. Okay, we're going to shrink this just for a moment. Shrink this for a moment. We're going to make a copy of this right here. Like I said, I like doing stuff like this in front of people so they can fully understand. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up with paints. This copy. Now we're going to zoom back. So we get the whole framing picture. Okay. Now we're going to draw a straight line from the center of Mr. Zapruder, where he's filming, okay, which let me go ahead and mark this. So we're right here, right in the center of Mr. Zapruder filming, which what I'm going to do when he's filming out this way, okay, we're going to turn it to red so we can see it, or yellow. Let's do it to yellow. Now we're going to save that. Okay, now we're going to open this back up right here. As you see, let me close this window out here. As you see here, which I'll move this over here, bring this over here, and bring this up right here. Okay, we're going by Mr. Zapruder's view as he's filming. As you see, where is that X? It's on the right side of Mr. Zapruder when we're viewing it, when we're filming straight ahead of us now. We're going straight ahead of him filming, okay, right in the center, right where he was at. As I show you right here, he's right in the center right here, and he's filming outward. As you see, that's on the right side when we're filming. Okay, so when we go into his film, when we view his film, and we pull it up, we're going to see that it's not on his right side, it's on his left side as he's filming where the fatal headshot occurred. So now when we do that and we start measuring out, we start doing our distance, we start measuring, we see that this is the location right here of where the fatal headshot occurred, which is about approximately 4 feet from where that X is. So any ballistic testing that was done into the JFK assassination, basing the location right here where this X is false information, as I pointed out. Now see, that's why I said when people don't understand, they don't properly categorize this. Okay, this is not the government that's placed these X on. This is based on Robert Grodin's research and where he placed the X at and stuff. But the X should not be here. The X should actually be right over here. So you got thousands of people every day going there, trying to get on this X, to take the picture of them being at the fatal headshot, where the fatal headshot occurred, which is not, it's actually up here. Okay, and this is, like I said, is based on photographic evidence and everything else. Okay, people don't understand that. When I was there, that's one thing I wanted to make sure where that fatal headshot occurred. And I want to get it properly documented and everything else. And as you see, it's over here and not in the location as they claimed here. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise this up. This is the wrong location. So when they based their ballistic testing, and they're testing on the manhole cover shot and everything else, or even a shot from the man behind the picket fence, they're basing it all on a wrong location, which it should be right in this location up here, as I pointed out. This is where the fatal headshot occurred, right here. Not down here, right here. So when we're looking at this shot here, now we got the X right here. Okay, the X right here, which when you see it, people say, oh, well, it still can take a shot. No, the X should be right up here. So you see my cursor, which I'll shrink this, and I'll zoom in. I'm going to show you. Watch my cursor. Here's the manhole cover right here. That's where they said the fatal headshot is. Here is where the X is, but the X should be up here. So you see, the further it goes back now, where the fatal headshot occurred, makes a lesser view than a gunman taking a shot from the manhole cover. So you see, this is the reason why when people ask me questions and stuff, they said, oh, no, this can happen or that can happen or one thing or another. When everything I said, they're basing everything on false and wrong information. As I pointed out here, when you look at this and you study this, you're going straight ahead as you're filming. Okay, this is on Mr. Zapruder's right side. Watch the film. JFK is being shot on the left side, which occurs right around this location right here, as I had figured out years ago. This is a location. And then when we took the laser pointer, okay, we took the laser pointer and we went to that location and we viewed that location and we make our, we do the laser pointer, we discover all this stuff, okay, which I'll bring this up back here, we see that, hey, the fatal headshot occurred over here, as you see right here. That's where the fatal headshot occurred. This X is in the wrong spot. The X should be right around in this location here, as you see over here, by doing proper testing, proper documenting this thing. That's why I sit there and tell people. People gets mad at me and stuff like that because I'm not out. I hate going out to disprove people. But that's what I said. When you're taking something and you're going to use something as evidence and you're going to base it on this right here, this is where the fatal headshot occurred when the fatal headshot occurred over here. When you're looking here and you start doing ballistic testing because you're basing on this right here, okay? So when you move it back another 4 feet to where exactly the fatal headshot occurred, and you move that back, you're going to find out, well, wait a minute. Now there could have been somebody in this position or somebody in that way or this way or that way. That's why I said when you do an investigation, you do research and stuff, you got to do everything properly, okay? You have to analyze all the films and images. You have to properly document everything and mark on locations and everything else like that. The fatal headshot occurred right here. The fatal headshot to JFK. Not here. But everybody's basing their research, their ballistic test, and everything else on this one location here done by Robert Roden. But in reality, the headshot should occur here. As you see here, I presented evidence that the fatal headshot did not occur on Mr. Zapruder's right side. It happened on his left side. I also proved when you're standing on this pedestal and you film it straight ahead of you, we see in the Zapruder film that JFK was already on the left side of Zapruder when the fatal headshot occurred. That places that bullet, fatal headshot, in this location, not this location here. They're actually I'm going to say about 4 feet wrong on their fatal headshot. They move the fatal headshot down so they can use the claim of a gunman inside the sewer, or they can use the claim of a gunman behind a picket fence. That's the reason why they move that mark down to base their research. But when you're basing an investigation, as I do, I did, like I said, I did research and investigation. They did research. They never did no investigation. I did the investigation right on top of the research. And when you base this investigation on the facts, you will find a totally different story. As I point out to people, you find out a totally different story. So that's the reason why I don't believe the vertigo part about Mr. Zapruder. This is the reason why I say, and I can make this claim, because they're basing it into the wrong position of why the ballistic test can be wrong. And why the storm drain gunman cannot have a clear shot to JFK because they got the base of the X right here when the X should be over here. And as you see where my cursor is, the gunman would have to be way over here now. His arms would have to extend all the way out over here to get a clearer shot down here, because this is where the fatal headshot occurred, but they have a mark down here when the fatal headshot occurred up here. And there's no way he can get a clear shot to JFK. So see, right there, that's why people understand. When you're there and you're doing your investigation, you place everything back in its position, how it occurred. And you find out, wait a minute, here is the X, right here. And you find out, wait a minute, that X should not be here, it should be over here. So with the proper location being marked now and documented, the proper location where the fatal headshot occurred, which is right here, that means every testing that's ever been done in the past and claims and stuff done in the past was based on false information because they had the X in the wrong spot. You see what I'm saying? I just want to make this video here, show some more evidence and stuff like that, and cover a couple things. In the description down below, you find a site where you can order my book, Evidence of Conspiracy, the only book you ever need in JFK assassination. You can still make your donations, $30 more, on a GoFundMe account for the documentary. Your names will be in a credit. You get a free copy of the DVD. As I pointed out here, like I said, evidence, that's all I present as evidence. Other researchers and stuff, you can't ask them questions, nothing. They can't they can't show evidence because when they show their evidence, they show one image and that's it. There's nothing behind it. There's no checking up behind it. There's nothing behind it. But as I point out here in my research, and everybody knows in all my research, you see evidence one way or another. I provide the evidence. And just like right here, now you know that the X that they placed in the street is in the wrong location. And you also see the pedestal that Mr. Sprute and Mrs. Sessom is standing on. There's no way you could have vertigo. They could say you have vertigo, but there's no possible way you could have vertigo. So I just want to make this video here, give a little bit more information out. Don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about it. Share this information, other information with family, friends, and relatives, and on social medias and stuff, so they may know this information. Because JFK assassination is getting closer to being solved, and the truth is finally starting to be told in the JFK assassination. I know people don't like it, especially a lot of people that's over there in Dealey Plaza making their money. Sorry, but the truth, they said truth hurts. Sorry about the truth, but hey, it's got to be revealed. All this information has to be revealed, has to be shown. Thank you, and you have a pleasant, pleasant day.